parents? How's it going? Hey, good to be with you guys. No, I'm not wearing a bathrobe. This is a legit holiday sweater, just so you be clear for all your haters out there. Don't you just wish you could just read your kids' minds? I mean, wouldn't that make parenting so much easier? Just what's on your mind? Just be honest. Just tell us, what are you thinking in that noggin of yours? Oh my gosh. So here's some good news. I spent 24 years listening to our sons and daughters. 24 years of mentoring, coaching, counseling, sitting in rooms, going on walks with them, coaching them, doing that type of therapeutic listening, poking, providing, drawing out all this information. I got a few things that I want to share with you today as we open up our Parents Club. Hey, thank you for joining me here on the live Zoom, or if you're watching this recording, what's up? It's good to be here with you guys. I have a class. It's called What Kids Wish Their Parents Knew. And I love the class. I've been teaching it for a long time. And I want to share a couple things from that class with you guys here today as a teaching, to tell me, I'd love to get your thoughts on it and to empower you, because I want families to be close and to be connected. And there's some things in here that I'm really passionate about, that I really want to share with you guys. And I hope you give me some time to teach you and to share some things with you. And then you can tell me your thoughts. Okay, so what kids wish their parents knew. If you're here with me on the live Zoom, can you give me a thumbs up that you can see the screen? Okay, all right, here's 3 little snippets from this class, okay? And this is so important. I try to tell myself these things on a regular basis. All right. So here we are, part 1 of 3 things that our kids, they want us as parents to know. I wish you would be more interested in learning about me than telling me who you think I should be. Okay, so let's talk about this, because I'm really into this, because I want us to tell our kids who they should be. That might sound weird coming off my lips, but it's not weird. It's about instilling wisdom in them, morals, integrity, responsibility, time management, goals, self-control, self-discipline, all that good stuff that we have because we're older and we nurtured this in ourselves. We worked on this on ourselves. We watch videos like this to grow ourselves. We have a growth mindset and we want to raise awesome kids. And it hurts us to see our kids doing bozo things or saying stupid things and acting a certain way. So we react. Sometimes we think of it like the teacher, like a light switch. You know, we're listening, we're observing, and then boom, we hear something, we get triggered, or whatever word you want to put it, and then boom, we react. And so many of our reactions, if you haven't noticed, are actually about control, and it's about ego. It's about us wanting our way, convincing ourselves this is the only way, convincing ourselves we need to speak up right now and we need to tell them that this was wrong. But that's really not what our kids want us to know. Our kids are different than us. And they're into these things that you might see on the screen, you know? They're into different types of music, different games, different colors. Their brain is so different than us. And I shared this before. One of the first things that my mentor ever taught me when I was 20 years old, 44, I'm 44 now, so 24 years ago when I first started working with young people, he says, you know, you have to earn the right to be heard with these kids. My first ever experience was working in an after-school program in Santa Barbara, at UC Santa Barbara, and it was a great job for a college kid. I would just like hang out with kids after school, helping them with their homework, helping them make snacks. But really, that's not what I did. Really, I just played dodgeball with kids for like 3 hours, and I pretty much told the kids to not throw dodgeballs at other people's heads. Pretty important job when you're 20 years old. And, it's actually, if you really love dodgeball and you can tell your kids you love dodgeball, well, you know, you could become a professional dodgeballer. I don't know if that exists. It might, but it really should be an Olympic sport. Like, wouldn't it be great if we got rid of some of these more boring sports and we put in like cool things like dodgeball? I mean, dodgeball is incredible. I love kickball. Kickball is so underrated. Anyone can play it. It's a big difference though between a slow pitch soft kickball, because then you can really crush it. But what they do now is like a growing sport. People will throw that thing and it's got spins on it and it's hard to kick. But back to what our kids see. I could talk about kickball and dodgeball all day, but my kids don't want to talk about that because they want to talk about other things. And if I really want to be the speaker, if I want to share my wisdom, I know that I want to earn the right to be heard. What are you talking about, Sean? You're the parent. You don't have to earn the right. Look at you, you freaking hippie California. This is how you guys are out there. This is why the world sucks. Because of parents like you. Don't have to ask your kids to talk. You just talk. Man up. Tell them what's right and wrong, you big sissy. Okay, that's another way of saying it. No, it doesn't work that way, right? If we want to enter in and really share our values, teach them, mentor them, we want to be close. And how do you be close? Well, you got to spend that time. You got to spend that time, right? Connecting with them, listening with them. And it reminds me, so when you see this this picture right here, tell me your thoughts on the group chat, type them, or just unmute yourself. I'd love to hear from you. When you see this picture right here that you're looking at, please don't hold back. Tell me, what comes to mind for you? What do you see in this picture? Okay. Cheryl is saying in the group chat, this is so true, Sean. My son told me yesterday, Mom, you want the impossible. You want me to be an angel child, and I'll never be that. Right, because you're speaking wisdom, and really what you're doing is you're setting the bar high. So the fact that that child is like having an issue with your bar says so much amazing things about you. And what a great mom you are, that you are like setting it high for him. And I know, and so keep it up. Now that person is struggling with meeting that bar, which is a different conversation. Okay, so one dad is saying here in this picture, both are saying you suck. That's funny. Okay, Chris is saying resistance, frustration, and disappointment. Okay, Cheryl is saying mother and child are very different individuals. I mean, look at who is this woman with the pearls, and she's gripping her purse, and that salty teenager with that emo vibe going on. I mean, what is going on here between these two? Now, here is what I choose to see. I choose to see a mother or a grandmother or an aunt or a great aunt, and she's trying to connect to this teenager. It's hard, and the teenager doesn't really trust her. She doesn't know. Are you going to lecture me right now? Are you going to accept me? This is what I choose to see in this picture. But I see a person who's trying here and trying to connect and ask her about, her music types, or where she shops at, or how much that weird looking jacket was from Hot Topic that has like shoelaces on the side, right? I mean, come on, Hot Topic. It's like, that is just a weird shop. All right. But hey, that's how old I am now. I have one time I went on a walk with a friend, and we'll call him Joe. And Joe's a great guy, man. And at this time, Joe had two great kids. But he told me the story about his great son, who was a high school kid. And he was telling me as a friend how much he was struggling with his son, how his son was making good choices. Yeah, wasn't excelling in school the way Joe wanted him to excel, but he was just struggling with the connection, the bond. It's like, we just are so different. And he was kind of complaining, kind of whining, kind of hurting about how different he is. First of all, like, I get that. I get it. Like, I'm a dad of 3 daughters, and on the kind of the surface, I don't have a lot in common, with my kids. Like, they don't love backpacking, they don't love football, they don't love basketball, they don't play basketball, they don't love fishing, they don't love sitting out there by the barbecue, they don't, you know what I mean? And so it's like, on the surface, we're just very different people. And so he's hurting because they have different things in common. But it kind of got into my craw because he's kind of complaining a little bit about his son. And this is the moral of the story. I didn't come out and say this to my friend, Joe, but I was thinking it on the inside. And I want you to know what I was thinking on the inside, because I want to say it to you. Joe, shut the hell up. It's not about you, man. It's not about you. So you've got a son who has different interests than you. Let's just make up some interests. I don't even know because I'm going to try to protect their privacy. Let's say this kid's into like Comic-Con. Let's say he's into Dungeons and Dragons. Let's say he's into hardcore like conservative politics and you're not. Let's say he's into hardcore liberal politics and you're not. Let's say that he's into some crazy YouTuber or some stupid game, or let's say he's into My Little Ponies, which, as I've heard you, if you've heard me say this before, there's a pretty cool documentary called Bronies on Netflix, which is documenting grown men who are into the show My Little Pony, and they're called Bronies. First of all, it is a pretty good cartoon. It's pretty smart, but it's a pretty good documentary. And like, no judgments, man, to those people that are bronies. Like, no judgments to anybody. You want to be it. But the fact of the story is, Joe, you have a freaking great son in on your house. And I don't have a son. And I'm never going to have a son. Maybe I'll hopefully have a grandson. But you have that child in your house for only a few more years because he's in high school. So suck it up. Go and do things that he likes doing. Enter into his world. Get to know his world and get to know him in that freaking world. It's not about you. And then in time, he's going to notice this selflessness, this agape love, this unconditional love, this interest. My dad's interested in me. He knows you're not into this. He knows you're not a brony. But he sees that that's love because kids and people spell love Time. What a cheesy cliche. I hate that. So overplayed. Quality time, interest. And then you're going to ask him, hey, do you want to go do something that I want to do? And he's a salty teen. So let's just say he's going to be like, no. And he said, dude, son, come on. I spent so much time, doing things that you like doing. It'd be so great if you could come with me. And then he's going to get it. Light bulb. You're right. And he's going to come and do things that you like doing because that's what healthy relationships smell like and look like. It's about a shared experience of doing things together and caring for each other's feelings and working with each other. I hope you agree, and I know you agree. And so the last thing I want to share with you is question, okay? The question. Now, use the group chat. Now, if you already know the answer to this little riddle, just hold it back in the group chat. But us parents, we want to be close and connected with our kids, so we ask them questions. What do our kids wish their parents knew? Well, I'm going to tell you something about this, and hopefully it'll change your life because it's changed mine. What is the most popular question that a parent will ask their child or teenager or, what is it? We ask them all types of questions, but in my opinion, there's one question we ask more than any other question. It's like the world's most popular parenting question. In fact, I'm guessing that you actually have asked your kid this question even today or yesterday. Any guesses? Now, I actually don't have research on this. I'm just making this up in my mind. So it's like a riddle that I invented the answer to. But what is that question? Would anyone like to ask? Okay, all right. Chris is saying in the group chat, what did you learn in school? Nope, that's not the number one question. Guess again. Who's got a guess? Jessica, you want to guess?
I'll guess. How did your day go?
Okay, how did your day go? Okay, I like that question. Okay, how did your day go? That is very close to the answer. How did your day go? All right, that is very close to the answer. It's not the exact question, but any other guesses? You want to modify it? Cheryl, you are pinpoint. The world's number one question, in my opinion, and Jessica, you were right, is how was your day? Guys, how was your day? My fellow parents, is that the best we've got? How was your day? How was your day is the world's dumbest question. It's the dumbest, and then we get these dumb responses. Like, fine, okay. And then we wonder, why do these responses suck? Well, because the question sucks. Guys, we're freaking adults. We're like old, and we have a lot of wisdom, and we have a lot going for us. Some of us graduated high school, graduated college. Some of us have masters or PhDs, and that's the best question you got? No, those are the dumbest question. So here's what I've learned. Kids want us to know that I wish you would ask me really good questions. and then give me the freedom to honestly respond. Now, when you ask that question and where you ask that question really matters. Asking your kid when you pick them up from school, some of these questions may not be the best time, but our kids want to be known and they want us to pursue them. Part of what's painful about parenting is that when we do pursue them, they reject us. And that's normal, and welcome to the club. That's a normal part of being a parent. They set boundaries with us and they set up a wall with us, and that's all normal and it's psychological. But our kids want us to know that they like it when they ask us, and we ask them really good questions. So here's a couple questions. I'll read it to you here. And I want you to use the group chat or unmute yourself and answer this question. Tell me a question that you do ask your child or teenager, and they like it when you ask that question. It's like they will answer it. So here's a couple questions. Hey, who's your favorite celebrity to follow right now on social media? Who do you sit with at lunch? That is an amazing question. You can learn so much about somebody who they sit with at lunch. It's a very tactical choice. So whenever I'm coaching or anyone on my team is coaching your sons and daughters, we always ask them about who they sit at lunch with, because that's like their tribe, that's their clique, and that's their brand in a sense. And there's just different dynamics, so you can learn a lot about the person who I don't sit with anyone. I bounce from group to group, or they're sitting only with their boyfriend or girlfriend. That's bad news. And they're just like, who they sit with, or they're like in the library by themselves. That's shady too. What do you dream about? What's your favorite friend like right now? Who do you have a crush on? What's your favorite band right now? Hey, how does it make you feel when you see this photo on Instagram, or those photos here, or when you watch that commercial? Hey, what type of qualities are you attracted to? What's the funniest part of your day? What's the most special? What's the most stressful part of your day? Tell me a highlight of your day or a low light. And so yeah, when the problem with some of these questions is that sometimes we just focus on what did you learn in school. And if you keep asking that question, well, you're kind of branding yourself. You're branding it yourself as in like, all I really care about here is your academic performance. I don't really care about your social-emotional development. I don't care about us being close or being chums. That's just a cool word, a chum. What isn't even a chum? As a fisherman, I do chumming sometimes. Is that an English word? Chum. That's a good word. We're chums. We should start using that word more. It just is a good word. So let me ask you, use the group chat. What is a question that works for you? And then we'll move on in our club and we'll do some other fun stuff. Anybody want to share anything in the group chat? Okay. Tell me some new, all right. For me, a question as I wait for people to unmute yourself or answer, a question that I've been using with my oldest is, hey, tell me something new. What's going on with you? And then she'll say, nothing. And I'll say, come on, tell me something new. Because then it kind of engages her mind and she gets to pick anything new she wants. Because everybody has new things going on. And sometimes she says, no, nothing new. So then I'm like, okay, what are your plans for the weekend? Because she's a senior in high school, she's always thinking about her plans. And we chit chat about her plans and see how that goes. And then sometimes it hurts. It hurts because she says, nothing, no plans. I don't know what my plans are. So I'm feeling disconnected because I'm feeling kind of maybe a little rejected. But hey, I got a senior in high school. Welcome. This is what you do. You can't just force conversation. You got to be patient. And that's the thing. Like, if you have a senior, something that I always teach them, whether I'm coaching them or coaching you, is, and this is kind of funny, but I think it's true. I said, guys, I say this to my own children, even, especially as they get older, like 17. I said, I want you to view me kind of like a dog, right? It's like, but I'm a dog that doesn't need that much attention. But if you have a dog, you got to give it some attention. Otherwise, it's going to die or poop all over your house or something or bark. So I don't need a ton of attention from you. But, you're a senior, you're really active, you're out of the house, you're working, you got a boyfriend, you're doing all these things, you're doing great. But it just would mean so much to me if you just give me 10 to 15 minutes a day. Or just checking in, just talking, checking with the family, being around. And then, of course, what's so cool is that I do get that a lot, not every day. But then, of course, because I'm so kind of cool with the vibe and checking in with her and helping her to feel free, help her to be flexible with, when she wants to be out later than her curfew or she wants money for this, then, she makes it, she wants to be around me. She wants to be around us. And so that's super cool. So here's the success story. We're going to like this nice Airbnb as a family in about 30 minutes. Actually, it'd be about 45 minutes when this club's over. And, she's bringing, one of my daughters is bringing her boyfriend. And so that's, kind of, we trust everybody, we trust them. There's a lot of boundaries and it's just kind of cool, having that experience. And so, all right. So Tracy is saying, hey, I asked what's new and exciting. All right. Corbin is saying, hey, what's your favorite friend at school right now? Always gets an in-depth interaction from both our 7-year-old and our 5-year-old. Cool. Anybody else want to share as we transition our club and do something else? What else? Do you have a question that really works for you? And then I'll share one more thing. Anybody else want to share? Unmute yourself or type anything. All right. So I tell this story sometimes. I was speaking to a group in person once, and there was probably about 300 parents at this group. And I asked that group the same question. And this good-looking Indian American man raises his hand, and he says, I ask my son almost every day, who did you help today? And I said, excuse me, what did you say? He said, I asked him, who did you help today? I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. I was like, your son's in middle school? Yeah. And you're telling me he lets you ask him, who did you help? He's like, yeah. And does he answer you? He's like, oh yeah. Like sometimes he doesn't have anybody to say. He doesn't have anything. But sometimes he says who he helps. I was like, what the heck? Are you serious? What type of magic parenting juice are you giving this kid? What type of amazing bond do you have where you can ask a child, a young man, who you helped, and the dude will answer? Isn't that incredible? And I think, what type of psychology are you doing with this kid? He's just constantly thinking about using his power for good, helping people, doing good things in the world. The world doesn't revolve around him. And he wants to share that with his dad. I was like, dude, bro, I don't do like arranged marriages or something, but dude, when your kid gets older, call me up, man. I want your kid to be dating my daughters. Let's go. Your kid's going to be amazing. So keep it up. Keep working and developing that common language with your kids to find that vibe and to find that phrase, to find that atmosphere where you can say to them, son, like, hey, if you don't like me asking how was your day, well, then what could I ask you? Well, what would be a good question? What do you like? What time of day would be best for us to talk? Because I love you. I'm your parent. I want to know what's going on in your life. I get it. I'm not super needy. You don't have to spend 2 hours, sitting down on a couch, telling me about your day and all your feelings. That's not something I'm asking for. Come on, don't be weird. You say, I want to get to know. I want to know about your day and about your life in a way that works for you and in a way that works for me. Thanks for coming to the Parents Club, everybody. Tell me your thoughts. Unmute yourself. Tell me your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear from you.